सर आपका आई थिंक एक ट्विटर पे बैटल हुआ था विद अशनीर ग्रोवर व्हिच वाज क्वाइट पब्लिक एंड इंटेंस, तो व्हाट ड्रोव यू फॉर दैट स्टैंड इफ यू कैन कमेंट?
I guess I don't want to comment on it too much.
Hmm.
I think poor fellow has been hassled a lot right through. I was it was a off the cuff comment at that point, and I think he decided to show some documents about some other people which I had no idea about, and then that got him into trouble because there was documents he was not supposed to show, and that is what made it complicated. But more importantly, at that time, what was evident from whatever was in the news at that time, and things haven't been followed through, right? So was there were some issues with respect to governance, and those issues with respect to governance were not addressed meaningfully, and there seemed to be a more a public battle about key some VCs are taking over a company and all that stuff. And I had my grouse with the VCs on this kind of thing as well, saying ki if there are things that are wrong and you're an entity that is going to buy a bank, because they were pitching to buy a bank, or they were at that point, I think PNC या कुछ तो था PNC, I forget which bank it was, some bank they were buying. Um, then you have to address these allegations upfront, because people don't want these kind of things happening when you're a bank, you're a RBI regulated kind of an entity, and that kind of drove me at that point. But I think in retrospect, probably, I mean, these battles are sometimes publicized more than they should be. कोई तो ट्विटर पे कुछ तो बोल रहा है, क्या फर्क पड़ता है उससे and all that. And but I mean, I think the impact to him was a little more dramatic, and it was not because of what I said, but because what he eventually put out is some kind of a defense to his position, saying मैं अकेला नहीं था, देखो ये सारे थे. एंड देन दोज ये सारे लाइक ये कहाँ से तुमने डॉक्यूमेंट किसको रिवील कर दिया, आप तो मतलब ये तो कॉन्फिडेंशियल डॉक्यूमेंट था, और फिर वो कहीं और चला गया, which I think was not this thing. But in general I feel that governance standards sometimes in companies do sometimes have to be addressed, and those governance standards, so it's not like we are everybody's made of, there's something bad in every company that happens, but certain things, we've also found that in a lot of companies these things happen, and we find them that as investors we would question the management, saying आपने ऐसा क्यों किया, but maybe these questions came out through a whistleblower, and maybe the VCs weren't asking the same kind of questions, and then that eventually these companies are going to go public, and you're going to have all these scars remaining behind, right? So you don't want those questions to be asked. So now, since then, by the way, a lot of companies have cleaned up shop, and there's a lot better governance standards that are happening even in the private arms. But I would say in general that was maybe it shouldn't have gone as public as it would have, and I didn't know that people would take this so this thing. It was an off the cuff remark, and in usual circumstances I would have probably looked at it and said, dude, if it hurts something so much, it's not something I would put out. But I would say what I had said initially was I mean, because he was railing against the whole world at that time. सब मतलब ये हो, हम सब ने ऐसे नहीं है, मतलब ये इशू है, आपको मतलब बताना पड़ेगा इसके बारे में क्या था. That was the thing. But I don't think, I mean, I think the people kept on saying कि you have, I don't think I did anything at that time. I was, like I said, it was mostly what he chose to say, and that thing never had any kind of an outcome, in the sense जो allegations थे वो अभी भी हैं, उसका कोई मतलब क्लोजर नहीं हुआ है, and for whatever it is, the investors of that company have decided कि वो वाला part of history है उसको छोड़ दो. So they have kind of wound it down. Maybe it's good the company now is bigger perhaps, or it is still acquiring a bank and doing things. Hopefully once it goes public, we'll have more meaning to all of these things when we see them.